Welcome to Grade 8 Geography, Unit Number 1, Global Settlement, Patterns and Sustainability. This is Lesson Number 1, How is Earth's Population Changing? Welcome to Grade 8 Geography. In Grade 8, we will be studying human geography. This means that we will be looking at how people are connected to the Earth and how we use the Earth. In order to better understand how we interact with the environment, we will spend a fair amount of time studying the populations of different countries. And you can see just from this world population data map here that our world's population is not evenly distributed. There are some parts of the world that have very small populations, while other parts of the world have huge populations. And we're going to spend time talking about the consequences of this uneven population distribution over the course of this semester. The United Nations, or UN, predicts that our global population will reach 9.6 billion people by 2050. The world population will definitely increase over the next 100 years. We need to ask, what will this mean for existing cities and towns? How will cities change as the world becomes more populated? And take a look at this diagram here. You see a chart measuring years on the horizontal axis and billions. I'm pretty sure billions in terms of human population on the vertical axis. And then you've got the little train that could. And this diagram is not meant as an extra chapter in the child's story of the little train that could. Rather, when I'm done talking, put this video on pause and then with somebody at home, talk about what you feel this political cartoon or this diagram is trying to tell you. With the development of agriculture, humans started to create communities. Crops and animals were being farmed in greater numbers in order to supply food for greater numbers of people. The agricultural revolution saw the birth of new farming techniques, which allowed people to produce more food more efficiently. Larger numbers of people could be fed, leading to more population increases. The Industrial Revolution was a period in which machines started to replace human labor. Fewer people were needed on farms to provide food for the community. People began to move away from rural or countryside areas to newer urban areas, meaning towns and cities. During this period, there were not just major changes in technology and manufacturing. Improvements in sanitation, medicine, and nutrition led to a decrease in deadly diseases such as smallpox, cholera, and typhoid. The world's population grew from 700 million to 1 billion people. Demography is the study of human population statistics. Demographers use the information contained in a census to help them describe a population's characteristics. This research helps us understand why people live where they do. One statistic that demographers use is growth rate. Growth rate is the increase or decrease in the population in a given period of time. A positive growth rate means that the population has increased, while a negative growth rate means the population has decreased. Here are some more important demographics. The birth rate is the number of live births per 1,000 people in a year. The death rate is the number of deaths per 1,000 people in a year. Migration describes the number of people who permanently leave or move into an area. These statistics are not the same across the world. For example, Europe's population is growing slower than Africa's. And what's helpful about this diagram is it shows that these three statistics, which I was just talking about, are not separate. You put them all together, and that's what gives you your total population. Population growth is also affected by other factors. Countries with a higher percentage of people aged 15 to 45 will grow much faster than countries that have a much older population. Different countries have different attitudes towards family sizes. Countries that prefer larger family sizes will have higher population growth rates. Countries that have stronger economies tend to have lower population growth rates. This is because more women in these countries have greater access to education and a career. And in countries that provide greater access to doctors, hospitals, and medicine, more children live to adulthood. This means the growth rate will likely increase. Now, I think all that I've mentioned here is pretty well common sense, but I think it might be helpful for you to put the video on pause and just reread the 4 points I've read here, or you can even record or rewind this video by about a minute and just hear me read back these 4 points. Over the past few decades, the worldwide growth rate has actually declined from 2% to 1%. However, we need to keep in mind that a 1% growth rate will still add 73 million people to the world's population each year. These new people are going to need food, clothing, shelter, and water. How long can our resources last? Now, I'm going to tell you I did not make some epic fail in pasting this world map into this video which you're listening to right now. Rather, this image shows you what's currently going on in terms of our worldwide population growth. What we're seeing is that in certain areas, the population is actually in a decreasing trend, while in other parts of the world, the population is actually continuing to increase. And so we need to look at this image and think, okay, what is the consequence of certain areas having shrinking populations and certain other areas having this massive growth rate? Something for us to discuss in our next class. Overpopulated regions do not have the resources to support a growing population. This means that they've gone over their carrying capacity. Overpopulation can drain a country of both its natural resources as well as its social resources, like welfare and housing. Alright, so let's finish this introductory lesson with a fill in the blanks activity. So when I'm done talking, you're going to put the video on pause, and on a piece of paper, write down your solutions to these 8 questions, and I've given you the 8 terms below to fill in for each sentence. If you're not confident in your ability to complete this activity, it means you need to go back and listen to this video at least 2 more times, and then when you're ready, put the video on pause and complete this activity. So put the video on pause now. And we will see how you did with this video at the start of our next class. But until then, this concludes today's video.